Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Gale Force Twins episode. As you can see, we're fishing freshwater. We are fishing in the South Florida freshwater canal systems, quite literally next to the highway, so you'll have to excuse the noise. Now today we're doing something a little different, a little unique, according to social media, the internet, other people's opinions. This is something that's either like, ew, why would you do that? Or that's totally cool, I would eat that. So, as you guys may have figured out, we are gonna be catch, cleaning, and cooking possibly peacock bass and snakehead. So here's the thing, we decided to come out here and do a catch, clean, cook peacock bass. Because out here, you can catch anything from peacock bass, largemouth bass, snakehead, clown knifefish, sometimes even tarpon. And we wanted to do the peacock bass, but then we started doing our research, and according to the internet, which I don't know how valid of a source it is, but according to the internet, largemouth bass taste better than peacocks, and so do snakeheads. And we've had snakehead before. We've done a catch, clean, cook on that. I'll link in the description box if you guys are interested. However, we've never done a side-by-side, so I think if we're gonna do peacock bass, it would be good to catch another species to compare it to that, according to the internet, tastes better than peacock bass. So that's today's goal, to catch, clean, cook, taste comparison, peacock bass to snakehead, maybe largemouth if we catch one. We don't normally catch largemouths here, so probably gonna be snakehead and peacocks if we can make it happen. My name is Emily, I'm man behind the camera, and welcome to our channel, Gale Force Twins. This episode is brought to you by Lewmar. Now, a fun fact about the peacock bass is peacock bass are a non-native species, and the reason they're here is because we have an invasive species called the Mayan cichlid. The Mayan cichlids are believed to have come here through the aquarium industry. Maybe they were pets getting released. Some people say that, a hurricane might have taken out a pet store and the fish gets released. Like, there's all sorts of stories about exactly how they got into the system. Probably more than one way. But anyways, they bred, they did well, they succeeded, and they became invasive. They started eating our juvenile largemouth bass, our native fish. So what happened was we brought over the peacock bass, which is a natural predator of the Mayan cichlid, to help control the Mayan cichlid population. And it turns out it was, according to some sources, most sources actually, it was a success. These kinds of things are always up for debate. So now the peacock bass live in harmony with the largemouth bass and still the Mayan cichlids. They are still here, they're just not as plentiful, which is a good thing. And so the peacock bass, they are a non-native species, but they're not considered invasive, they're considered non-native, and they are regulated. So that means that you can only catch 2 per person, and only one of them is allowed to be over 17 inches. So we definitely need to pay attention to the size of our fish. Definitely can't keep more than 2 per person. Honestly, I don't think we're going to keep more than 2, or not even 2. We don't even need that many because we're just trying to catch enough to taste them and for dinner, especially if we don't like them. That would be a sad waste of peacock bass. So we're gonna try to keep our catch limits low, and then hopefully we can catch peacock bass and then either a largemouth bass, which, like Emily said earlier, is not likely here. This is not really an area we have a lot of largemouths, but we do have a lot of snakeheads here. So if we land a snakehead, that'd be a great side-by-side, because snakeheads, they're also known for their medicinal properties, which is why people love to eat them. And we have eaten them, and they are very clean tasting freshwater fish, even though to this day I still prefer saltwater fish like yellowtail snapper, mangrove snapper. Those are still my favorites to this day. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to compare apples to oranges, peacock bass, snakehead. I feel like that's apples to oranges, Emily, right? Like, or is that apples to apples? Because they're both freshwater species. I mean, to each his own. It's up for debate. Let's see what we can find. We are arriving to our first spot, which is that culvert over there. And what we did was, when we started to get close to it, I turned the engine off, and I am using the trolling motor to kind of idle our way and work our way towards it, because we don't want to spook the fish. We want to try and be nice and quiet. We're not going to get too close. And like I said, we're just slowly but quietly working our way towards our first fishing spot. Our bait of choice for the day is shiners. We have some nice shiners. These things are feisty. And there's a few ways you can hook them. I think for now, for this time to start, I'm gonna go inside the mouth and
out through the top of the head, but not too far back because you don't want to puncture their brain.
Just kind of like how you would hook a pilchard. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly how we would hook a pilchard. Ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and cast into our favorite culvert.
We got one on, Amanda.
We got one on.
You're gonna get the net. You're gonna have to get the net.
Get the net. Get the net.
Get the landing net.
Working on it.
Hurry up, he's here. We don't want to lose him.
No pressure.
Get the landing net.
Nice.
Peacock bass in the boat.
We'll see how you taste, bud.
Here we have our peacock bass. I love those beautiful colors they get on them, that false eye. They're such awesome, awesome fish. Now we're gonna give him a measure, but he's definitely gonna be under 17 inches.
Very much under 17. So
it's total length.
So you can pinch the tail 0 to 12. So we got a 12 incher. So if this were a yellowtail snapper, which is honestly what I'm gonna be comparing him to with the taste test,
he would be a keeper.
He would be a keeper. So this here is, I mean, it's a keeper no matter what, but it's our keeper peacock bass. I've got a fish on. Oh, Emily, it's a snakehead.
It's a snakehead.
It's a snakehead.
All right,
okay.
Get him in the net.
Ready? Get him in the net. There we go.
Net.
Nice. All right. What happened was at the last spot, we really only hooked in to that one peacock. We got a couple more, but kept getting pulled into lily pads like crazy. We just started trolling along, not trolling, but idling along the coast. We saw a tree stump. We're like, hey, there's a tree stump there. Let's give this a try. And we landed the snakehead. Now, fun fact, these snakeheads, this is the bullseye snakehead. You see that red bullseye? The bullseye snakehead is an invasive species in Florida. So this guy is 100% not getting released. He is coming in the boat with us. Not only are they invasive though, but like I said earlier, they are known for their medicinal properties and their meat is clean, flaky, and white. We have tasted the snakehead before and it was good. And according to the internet, peacock bass is not as good as snakehead. So we can do a head-to-head on this fish. Right there, that is the top of the tree stump sticking out of the water. And then the whole roots are actually coming down and it comes all the way down to here. And I kind of cast it in front of the tree stump and then my bait swam to about there. And that's where I got bit. And now Emily casted her bait basically in the same spot. Giving this another go. We'll see what else is there. See what else is there. See if there's anything else there. Maybe we'll keep idling along the bank and seeing what we find, because our favorite culvert that we were fishing earlier, it wasn't favoriting today.
It wasn't producing.
It was not producing. Well, we caught our peacock though, which is very important.
Yeah, usually we'll catch like 4 to 5 in that one spot.
We can catch a lot there, and sometimes we can catch big ones too. But today was a one and done. But that's all right, because honestly, we got a new spot today.
Yeah.
That's
what
happens.
Made us look further.
Made us look further, find a new spot, found a cool tree stump, and it produced. Grab the net. I'm coming. Grab the net. Grab the net. We got another one. There we go. Okay, it's too heavy. This one is heavy. One hand. It's heavy.
All right, this fish, I got it, Amanda. I got it.
Oh, we've got it.
This fish, we weren't able to even get the fight on film because we couldn't get the camera out fast enough because this was the rod. If you look at the rig, we had the cork and the little split shot on it and a shiner down there. Amanda, want to show them?
We had a cork
we're getting tangled in that.
To a split shot and then to our hook, which is in the net right now.
First of all, he's beautiful, and you might notice I'm able to say he because of that knob on his head. So similar to mahi, the male mahis have that square head, the bulls, and the female mahis, the cows, have that rounded heads, and it's kind of similar with peacocks. They have that knob on their head, and that's essentially protein, is what that is. They're storing up protein, whereas the females won't have that. Now here's the thing though, here's the catch, is that they won't always have the knob. So sometimes you could catch what looks like a female, but it's really just a male without the knob. However, if you have the knob, it's a good way to know that you have a male peacock bass.
We're on.
A fish on.
Come on. Holy cow, the lily pads are making me so nervous.
Oh no. Bring him to the boat, Amanda.
He's a big one.
Get him to the boat.
He's a big
Be gentle, be easy.
Right, nice and easy.
Let's land him.
Nice and easy. All right. Wow, that made me really nervous.
That was nerve-wracking.
That was very nerve-wracking.
Check out all these lily pads that we're having to fish in. So you could imagine it's great because the fish are here, but I mean, if you get tangled around those, it's pretty tough to land them. Perfectly hooked. Check out how this guy is hooked. He was not going anywhere.
See, this is also the reason I don't like. See that black thing right there in the mouth?
Yeah,
that's a leech.
Parasite.
It's a leech. So I'm like, that's why I normally avoid
freshwater fish.
Yeah. Another peacock bass. Now this one you can see he's a little bit more lit up. He's definitely got those vertical stripes. He's a little feistier. He was a much feistier fighter for sure. I thought he was going to be bigger based on how he fought. He is bigger than the last fish, but I thought he was going to be even bigger because pound for pound, peacock bass are some of the strongest fighting fish you will encounter. Check this guy out.
All right, let's give him a measure, Amanda. Now, something that we both agree on is that even though there's no minimum size requirement, if they're below like 12 inches, not worth keeping.
There's just not going to be enough meat on them at that point.
This one's definitely going to be probably close to 14.
Oh, yeah. Emily, you're spot on.
Am I spot on? Pretty much at around 14.
We're definitely going to keep this guy, fillet him, make sure there's no leeches on the meat, and make sure that it's cooked all the way through. But this guy is coming home with us. We have made it to our next fishing spot, and at this spot we are using our Lewmar Shallow Water Anchors to fish right here. So we have them, I don't know if you can see them right now, they're down there in the water. We're fishing in around 4 feet of water, so our anchors are right there keeping us down. And the reason we chose to fish here is because it's basically a little inlet. So this is the main canal, and then this here is like a side canal. I don't know if inlet's the right word for freshwater canal fishing. And then we've got a bridge over there, but this area tends to have good fish and good peacocks. Now we have our shallow water anchors hooked up to quick release brackets, which allow us to easily take them on and off if we wanted to, but we've actually never taken them off, Emily, have we?
We have not taken them off, but a good reason to take them off, maybe because you like towing or water skiing
or tubing or whatever it is, and you just don't want them there.
We really just stick to fishing.
But we fish all the time, so we've never taken them off. We've never had a reason to take them off because we use them basically every time we fish on this boat. Now these shallow water anchors, they're also 100% electric, and they wire directly to your house battery. So we don't have to worry about adding another battery or charging another battery because these batteries, they run off of your engine. So when our engine runs, it charges the battery, and then that powers the shallow water anchors. So we don't have to worry about another connection, another plug. It just goes directly to the battery that you already have on your boat.
I'm getting bit, okay? He just took it.
Reel, close it and reel.
The bail. And reel. We're on.
We got
another peacock on. All right, get the landing net, Amanda.
I'm getting the net. All right, bring him in. Nice and easy. There we go.
In the boat. We got another
peacock bass with our Lewmar shallow water anchors in use. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the description box if you guys want more info on these Lewmar shallow water anchors. But Emily's got her fish. Let's check this guy out.
All right, something I think is pretty cool about fish in general, especially peacocks as well, is how they change colors based on where you catch them. So you'll notice that the fish that were over the sand, they'll be lighter. The fish that were in the grass, the dark spots will be a little darker.
Actually, I just noticed something else too. This fish is almost a double false eye.
It is. Look at that. It's almost
that is so
like
cool.
1.5.
1.5 false eyes.
But Amanda, we are only going to keep enough fish for one meal because we really just want to taste these guys, see what they taste like. So I think we've got our dinner's worth of fish to go fillet and cook, and we'll let you guys know about how everything tastes. I'm a little terrified.
Why are you terrified?
I don't know. Eating freshwater fish is a little odd to me. I know a lot of people do it. Basically, I'm just going to fillet this fish like I would any other snapper.
That's what I would do.
Let's get into it, Amanda.
Let's go for it like you would a snapper.
All right. So we're going to go grab the fin.
We're a lefty too.
I'm a lefty. So for the lefties out there, this one's for you. And there's going to be meat up in the head. So you're going to want to don't go straight. You want to go at a little bit of an angle to get the meat up in the head.
There you go.
And I'm going to flip the fish and work down the backbone.
Come around.
And bigger fish, this is also a great technique for bigger fish when you outline them like this first. And then you're gonna go in and kind of scrape the backbone, which will separate the meat from the backbone.
Well, definitely looks nice and flaky.
You ready, Amanda?
I'm ready.
Let's take a look.
All right.
We have the meat.
Honestly, if I
Separate from
didn't
the
know any
backbone.
better,
You wouldn't question it if someone handed you that fillet. I don't think I'd question it. That looks like decent fish.
all right, keep going.
All right, let's keep going.
That is one interesting looking fish, Emily.
It definitely is.
Tell me, what is your technique for this guy?
This technique is probably just to get straight down to the backbone and run my knife along the whole thing. Once I can get through the rib cage.
There you go, that looks nice. Very scaly, you can hear that. Is that the scales? Wow.
Well, I think that meat's a little whiter.
What did you find? Oh my gosh. Is that our hook?
That definitely
That is
our
definitely
hook.
our hook. Swallowed that hook.
Now that the fillets are all cleaned up, I think it's pretty obvious which one looks like the better piece of meat, and that's definitely gonna be the snakehead. You can see it's more of a whiter, almost transparent fillet, whereas the peacock bass definitely has more of those reddish undertones to it. We'll see. That's the whole reason of this taste test. Now, we had a couple options. We talked about all these amazing ways to cook this fish, but we decided to go simple and just blacken it. Now, we want to be able to taste the fish. We don't want to go above and beyond and not really be able to taste the true difference between these two. So we're gonna use some blackened seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. One fillet, peacock bass fillet, going into the pan, and a snakehead fillet.
And all we did is heat up the pan and put a little bit of olive oil in it. That's all we're cooking it in. But you can hear that sizzling and it definitely smells delicious.
Quick flip.
Wow, that looks awesome.
As I was cooking these fish, it was very obvious based on how they felt when I was flipping with the spatula and just by observing that the snakehead's gonna have a bit of a spongy texture, almost like a tile fish or a deep water snapper, like a yellow eye snapper, maybe a little bit like a vermilion snapper, whereas this peacock bass is gonna be much closer to a reef fish, like a yellowtail snapper. I think it's gonna be more flaky and this is gonna be more spongy. Now, personal preference as is, I prefer those deep water snappers, those tile fish, those deep water groupers. So I think I'm definitely gonna like the snakehead better. I would almost say they're not really comparable as far as is one better than the other because they're gonna be very, very different. This is gonna be much more like a reef snapper, like a yellowtail snapper. This is gonna be much more like a deep water snapper or a grouper, like a snowy grouper, tile fish, vermilion snapper, yellow eye snapper. Here we have our snakehead, and I wanted you guys to see this, how it's going to be a little bit more spongy of a fish versus the peacock bass. This looks more flaky and snapper-like to me. So this to me is definitely more like a snapper and flaky, whereas that snakehead looked a little more spongy. Snakehead first.
Which we have tasted before and we did think was pretty good. And is apparently known for its medicinal properties.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Overall, I have to say the snakehead, if you didn't tell me it was a snakehead and it was caught in a freshwater canal, I don't know that I would know.
don't think I would know.
I
agree
wouldn't
with
question
that.
it.
And the texture is actually definitely, you're right, definitely on the spongier side.
Spongier side like a vermilion snapper.
Let's go in and try this peacock bass.
This is gonna be more, just by looking at it, I think it's gonna be more like a yellowtail snapper.
Cheers.
Cheers. Definitely more like a yellowtail snapper. I have to say, I think I was right about the peacock bass being more like a yellowtail snapper. It had more of that flaky, almost
was
a little
more of
bit on
a-
the drier side.
It was more of a true flaky fish.
Yes. Whereas the snakehead definitely was more of that spongy texture that you get in those deeper water fish.
But the snakehead was a more neutral flavor. right? Like
Yeah.
this was just more like, it felt like clean fish. This felt a little bit more like
Freshwater fish?
freshwater fish, I don't know, yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed coming along as we catch, cleaned, and cooked a side-by-side comparison of snakehead to peacock bass.
We are gonna go ahead and put the link in our description box if you guys do wanna check out those Lewmar Shallow Water Anchors, which did help us catch these 2 species of fish. In the meantime, we hope you get out there, have fun, and stay safe.